Hello everyone, welcome to back my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before starting the video, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Triple H's creative regime on WWE's main roster has had a few hits and misses in the past few months. However, Vince Russo slammed the game and his creative regime for horribly booking Chelsea Green and the mid-card women's division on the Blue brand. The women's division on Friday Night SmackDown received new life last year when the management introduced the WWE Women's United States Championship. In December 2024, Chelsea Green became the inaugural champion and made history in the promotion. However, her run in the company didn't live up to expectations, as the booking went nowhere on the Blue brand. Speaking on Behind the Turnbuckle Studios' The Coach and Bro Show, Vince Russo slammed Triple H and his creative team's choices when it comes to the division and the horrible booking of Chelsea Green. Moreover, he pointed out that the management often fails because they never pull the trigger when they put the title on a rising star in the company, like Green or Julia. After WrestleMania 41 in Nevada, Chelsea Green's inaugural reign as the Women's United States Champion came to an end on SmackDown when Zelina Vega won the title. Later, Vega had one successful televised defense before dropping the title to Julia in Saudi Arabia. Last week, the Beautiful Madness reign ended in less than 2 minutes when Chelsea Green won the title for the second time in nearly a year. According to Fightful Select Answers, the management never had any real plans or cared about the title, and it was only introduced for a feud between Green and Mission. Moreover, the title was created without any significant creative plans compared to its counterpart on WWE Raw. It'll be interesting to see how Chelsea Green can turn the tide in her favor in her second reign as the champion. WWE has always been a place where creative direction sparks both excitement and controversy, and that tradition continues as a respected wrestling veteran has taken aim at Triple H over his handling of the inaugural WWE champion under the new creative era. Since taking over WWE's creative responsibilities, Triple H has been praised for revitalizing the product, but not everyone has been impressed with the way he's booked certain stars. The latest criticism comes from a former WWE name who believes the game has mishandled one of the most important championship reigns in recent memory. The conversation surrounding WWE's new title holders has been heated, especially with the introduction of new championships following the brand split and the company's global expansion. Triple H's vision for the inaugural champion was meant to set the tone for what fans could expect going forward, but according to this veteran, that mission has fallen flat. During an appearance on a wrestling podcast, the veteran did not mince words when discussing Triple H's creative choices, calling his booking of the inaugural champion confusing and lacking substance. They explained that the champion's reign, instead of establishing prestige, has left fans questioning WWE's long-term plans. When you crown a first-ever champion, that person should represent the absolute best of your product, the veteran stated. They should be built like a star, protected like a star, and booked like a star. Instead, it feels like WWE has been experimenting week to week, not knowing what kind of champion they want this person to be. The criticism reflects a growing sentiment among fans who believe the inaugural champion has not been given the momentum necessary to solidify the title's legacy. While Triple H has emphasized long-term storytelling since taking control, some insiders argue that the current narrative has lacked urgency and emotional investment. According to reports, the creative direction behind the champion's reign has shifted multiple times, leading to inconsistent character portrayal and confusing rivalries. The veteran highlighted how, during Vince McMahon's era, the inaugural champions of new titles were often booked with incredible dominance to ensure the belt's legitimacy. Examples like inaugural Universal Champion Finn Balor and inaugural SmackDown Women's Champion Becky Lynch immediately come to mind. Both were presented as generational talents who set the tone for the title's importance. However, in the current case, the veteran believes Triple H has failed to capture that same spark. You can't make a championship feel important if your first champion isn't being treated like a main event act, they continued. It's not about wins and losses alone. It's about presentation, storytelling, and the way the fans perceive that champion. If you're not investing creative energy into them, the title itself loses value. Fans have noticed that the champion's appearances on television have fluctuated, sometimes going weeks without significant story development. This has fueled speculation that Triple H and his team are unsure about the long-term creative direction. Some insiders claim that internal debates have taken place over whether to keep the title on the inaugural holder or make an early switch to another superstar to reignite interest. Social media has amplified the criticism, with fans debating whether Triple H's approach to booking the division reflects his tendency to favor certain wrestlers over others. The champion in question, despite their in-ring talent, has struggled to maintain consistent crowd reactions, which the veteran attributes to inconsistent storytelling rather than any flaw in the performer themselves. Triple H knows how to build stars. He did it in NXT countless times. But there's a difference between developmental storytelling and main roster storytelling, the veteran explained. You can't assume the main roster audience will automatically invest just because you believe in someone's talent. You have to give them something to sink their teeth into. And that hasn't happened here. The criticism becomes even more significant when considering WWE's efforts to make every championship feel meaningful. With so many titles across Raw, SmackDown, and NXT, maintaining prestige has become a delicate balance. If the first-ever champion of a new belt fails to resonate, it risks damaging the belt's long-term perception on fans. Interestingly, other veterans have offered mixed takes on Triple H's creative philosophy. Some have defended his approach, saying that his focus on layered storytelling and long-term character arcs takes time to pay off. However, others believe that WWE's modern audience, accustomed to faster-paced narratives, has less patience for slow-burn storylines, especially when it comes to newly introduced championships. The veteran also drew comparisons between how Triple H handled his own championship reigns during his active career versus how he's booking today's stars. Triple H was always booked strong. He understood that a champion needs to exude power, confidence, and control. But the same philosophy isn't translating to today's product, where champions sometimes feel like secondary characters in their own stories. They went on to suggest that WWE should have taken a page from AEW or even NJPW, where inaugural champions are often booked in decisive, career-defining ways that set a long-term foundation. If you look at AEW's first world champion, Chris Jericho, for example, he immediately brought legitimacy to the title. He made it feel like something worth fighting for. That's how you do it. You build the title by building the person holding it. Despite the criticism, Triple H has publicly stated that he remains confident in his creative process. He has often told media outlets that storytelling in WWE is like planting seeds that will bloom over time, and that fans should allow stories to evolve naturally. However, in today's social media-driven wrestling culture, fans are more vocal than ever about their dissatisfaction, making it increasingly difficult for WWE to control the narrative. As discussions continue online, many are wondering whether Triple H will make changes in response to this growing criticism, or stay the course with his original plans. Historically, WWE has not been shy about making sudden creative pivots when fan reactions demand it. The possibility of a surprise title change or a major storyline shift looms large as WWE looks to solidify the division's credibility. Some backstage insiders have hinted that the company may already be preparing for a major shakeup, with potential challengers being positioned as credible threats to dethrone the current champion. If true, that could signal WWE's acknowledgement that the inaugural reign hasn't lived up to expectations. Still, the veteran's comments have opened a wider debate about the balance between creative patience and audience engagement. Triple H is one of the smartest minds in the business, no doubt, they concluded. But being a great wrestler and being a great booker are two different things. Sometimes you can overthink a story, and when that happens, the emotional connection gets lost. Fans don't just want logic, they want passion. As WWE continues to evolve under Triple H's leadership, these types of creative debates will likely persist. The company's attempt to modernize while honoring its traditions is a delicate balancing act, and the way its inaugural champions are booked will play a major role in shaping that perception. Whether the current champion can recover from the shaky start remains to be seen, But one thing is certain, the wrestling world will continue to keep a close eye on how Triple H navigates this criticism moving forward. The next few months could prove pivotal for both the champion and the brand's credibility. If WWE can re-establish excitement and direction, the title's legacy can still be salvaged. But if the creative indecisiveness continues, it may become another example of how even the best intentions in pro wrestling can go awry when execution doesn't meet expectations. Thanks for watching this video, and please subscribe our WWE official YouTube channel for more update news.